Hello, welcome everybody. This is Holger from Constellation Research, collecting my thoughts about the key takeaways from the ADP Analyst Day, which happened yesterday, September 20th, 2018 in New York at the still always good to visit and see ADP Innovation Labs in the Chelsea area, I believe it is. The event was, as usually, well attended. Pretty much a who's who of analysts, remarkable. 1 week after HR Tech, everybody made the trek out of here to New York City. Always good to see, and just the good news starting right away. This was my 5th analyst day attending that, and this was probably by far the best, most cohesive message on the ADP side. Usual format with Carlos Rodriguez welcoming, and then Don Weinstein talking about 5 differences which are relevant for the future of work, and then talking about the concepts, but also then backing them up in real products and with live demos. Very powerful. Of course, easier as the product situation. ADP is dramatically different and more mature and better than it was, say, 5 years ago, 4 years ago. So that always, of course, helps. But nonetheless, well done. Very good analyst day from my perspective, comparing it with what's happening in the industry. All right, so what are the key takeaways? Lots of them. ADP overall, as I mentioned, is doing well. Mentioned a good presentation. On the product area, there's, of course, the new payroll engine with Pi. The leader, Raul Duke, was there to talk about that twice, not only from a payroll perspective, which is one of the trends, evolution trends, of course, with ad hoc calculation always being calculated, event-based, rule-based, but also showing a very interesting rule-based approach on the reusability side, that a non-technical user, a payroll manager, some of the domain expertise, can take these abstract payrolls and apply them to different new parts. And the interesting thing is that right now, with the know-how of the US and Australia, ADP just has 70 generic payrolls in the new payroll engine. It's probably going to get more, but this is a much lower number that I would have expected at this point, given the abstraction level. Very interesting and positive development. But the rule-based aspect, the always calculate part, is what sets everyone on payroll apart, and Pi or the ADP payroll is no exception. When we look at Lithium, the new HR core system, with a very strong push of understanding what teams are, I think that's a good approach, because teams is really where every enterprise moves the needle, moves towards more productivity, moves towards achieving business results. So it's a good true north to enable the team leader and build applications around that. So definitely a good update. The most exciting part from my side are what ADP unveiled last year. It was Stuart Sackman at the Analyst Day talking about the mini apps. And the mini apps are very small, lightweight applications. Think of them as even potentially tinier than modules, which can be built very easily and break this traditional challenge of enterprise software being monolithic. And monolithic means there's one way of doing things. And we all know from reality that there's never one way of doing things, because of industry requirements, because of legal requirements, because of local residency, statutory requirements. All kinds of reasons lead to that software has to be customized potentially or configured. And if you configure too much, the whole thing gets too complex. So the alternative is, with modern tools delivered through the cloud, hopefully you haven't seen that yet, with low-code, no-code capabilities, that people, business users, domain expertise with no coding background can build these tiny applications which can be used for specific pieces. And there can be multiple ways of doing, which is like a big debate and discussion going on right now, multiple ways of doing performance management, right? You might have a mini app which does a traditional top-down, bottom-up, roll it all across approach to performance management. And then there could be a lightweight check-in part, there could be an engagement survey part, there can be so many different flavors of performance management, which you can only get with a non-monolithic approach like the mini apps. So that's the one which I think will have the longest impact, as long as, of course, ADP delivers in that direction. Also a chance to update on the Celergo acquisition. I think a very good, important one, rounding up the ADP global portfolio. Good to meet the founder, great stories about starting the company in the basement and so on. So I love these entrepreneur stories, but good to see the success of that, and to see that many assets, capabilities, and even potentially code assets will make it on forward. ADP not being the arrogant who bought them, we got the people, and this has advantages for ADP on the business process as a service capabilities around sourcing information to partners. Moves overall, which is important for global companies. The ADP supported countries from I think the low hundreds to the 140. You need to check the slides. Check my Twitter moment, has all the statistics on that. It's already published, and the one slide is equally available, but it doesn't have that numbers now. So overall, my point of view, before this gets too long, ADP is probably in the best shape product-wise than they ever have been. Good to see the focus on product for the Analyst Day again. We didn't talk about all the other fluffy other areas, which is good. Only missed to a certain point was only shown by the chief scientist Mark Mint, a little bit on the data cloud side, where ADP showed a very interesting AI assistant surfacing those insights that are matter to a people leader, to a manager, based on their preferences and their role, which is very interesting because big data's problem is that there's too many insights and which ones are relevant for me to find those. But overall, we didn't see an assistant taking over self-service, voice being the new UI, something ADP showed in prototypes already 2 years ago, if my memory doesn't fool me. So that was the only area where we know from other conversations ADP is working on, but which didn't see much of the light, probably based on time restrictions, but we have to dig out more. So more AI, more machine learning is probably the biggest miss, if you have to find a miss on ADP, which really is in very good shape and now is moving more from having a product issue in having a go-to-market issue and solving these addressing the go-to-market with their customers and the new install base. But if your customer is looking for a solution which helps you to run in the public cloud, which helps you to run automating the gig economy, seeing one system, one source of truth in a modern HR core system, and running a modern payroll, then definitely you should take a look at ADP. And I say this very seldom, especially in these videos, which are out there forever. But as of September 20th, things are looking up for ADP. Not just in the install base, but for other people, it's definitely not the old payroll dinosaur anymore. Lower thought is broken. Google, what's going on? I haven't done any videos in a few weeks and still not fixed in Chrome, your platform, so some dishing on Google here. This is Holger Mueller from Constellation Research. The logo is up here, couldn't show it down here. Follow me on Twitter. I keep all my notes on Twitter, so at HolgerNU, that is HOLGERNU, follow me there. When there's an event, there's lots of tweets. Afterwards, I sum it up in a moment, which is out already. Check the moment for the ADP Analyst Day. Then I summarize everything into one slide in SlideShare. That's already published as well. And now you have this video and probably later blog post. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.